Hello and welcome to PaxAriaGaming. This is Reg with episode 9 of Nioh 3. In the previous episode, we did a little running around with E to sort of complete some quests for her. E's Memento was the name of the quest. The boss was the Aggrieved Warrior. And then we headed to Lake Hamana to complete the disaster at Lake Hamana. And then we completed Headaches for our grandfather, Ayesu, I think I'm pronouncing his name right, took on an enemy base and collected some Kodama. So in the current episode, we're going to be heading to Futamata Castle, and it's quite a trek to Futamata Castle. So this is a little bit longer episode than typical, but it will culminate with the boss of the area. All right, that's enough rambling about what was and what's to come. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start out on Futamata Road and a side quest depicting the Tiger of Kai. So we meet these characters throughout the game. I guess they're dead. These ghost characters that ask you to bring certain things back to them. In this particular case, it's paintings. It's actually paintings of a general. I think we've already fought him. And then we're going to be hanging out with Hanzo for a little while. All right, let's get started. I keep promising you guys I'm going to show you more of the map and the things I've already accomplished within each of the regions, and I keep forgetting to do that. In many instances, not all, you can't complete the whole region when you're there the first time anyway, because there's some elements, some parts of it that may be blocked off. Earlier in the game, we needed the sort of spirit. We needed to get beyond the spirit stones, and they would show up as locked on the map. We now have the capability of getting past them, but there are others that are still locked. Even though we can get through some of them, we still can't get through all of them. So sometimes you'll see, 23 out of 25 objectives met in a particular region. The reason you can't do the other two is because you're locked out of that, at least at this point. But they're easy to get back to. I mean, if you've unlocked all of the shrines, then getting back to them is not difficult at all. And in some cases, it's just a matter of going back to that area, going to where the spirit stone is, getting the treasure chest that was locked away before. In other cases, you may end up having to fight a boss. So that's a possibility as well. Okay, we're gonna. I guess I've been here before. We're gonna try to leave nothing behind. Earlier in the game, when I was going through, I was leaving a lot of the little minor loot. I was getting all the treasure chests, but I was leaving the little other loot behind. And going back through some of these areas a second time, I've decided, okay, get everything. And so when you finally hit 25 of 25, or the completion of the total completion of an area, you don't have to go back. Unless a battle scroll objective takes you back there or something along those lines. Which is possible. The other thing is, I think I'm at a point in the game where I should consider getting soul ore out of the equipment instead of just instead of just simply disassembling it, if you get the soul ore, you can use that to upgrade a favorite weapon that you might have. And of course, you need to upgrade your guardian spirits. And I've been not wanting to do that because I'm not sure what I'm going to eventually stick with. And it may be situational. You have one that's fire-based, one that's lightning-based, and one that's water-based or something along those lines. I don't think I'll ever go with a wind-based one. Although I believe the first wind-based one that you get is already level 5. The other ones I think are all level 1s. But again, it's a choice. I mean, you still have choices to make in terms of how you want to play. You can always go back and sort of reset your stats. Doesn't cost you anything. I'm loving that a lot of games are beginning to adopt that. You know, sort of like if you want to sort of reset and change your stats, you can do that on the fly. Versus some games where it costs you something. One of the reasons I'm thinking about that is because a lot of the enemies now seem to be much more difficult for me to beat than they were earlier. And I don't have a problem fighting the same boss 25 times to learn their moves, because sometimes it's just me. It's not a matter of my level or my gear. It's just me in terms of whether or not I can parry, deflect, dodge out of the way fast enough, those kinds of things. So I don't have a problem, doing it that way. But you get to the main bosses, you will struggle even more. Trust me, I've had the experience. And in some cases, it's about experimenting. You know, finding the armor set that synergizes with the weapon that you use, or vice versa, the weapon that synergizes with the armor set that you use. I think this will likely end the actual first act, even though we're probably 40 or so percent away, 40% away through the game. They said that would be my guess. When you think of it as the game is having 3 acts, this first act, and then the next one where we time shift again, and the final one where we time shift one more time. And how big the areas are, I guess, in part depends on how willing you are to explore. Yeah, probably did not need to use my living artifact for that. But I find that I don't use it enough. I mean, once I build it up, unless you know you have a boss fight coming up, there's no real reason to hold off on using it. I've done that a few times. Like, wow, it's fully maxed, and I'm gonna struggle with this field boss instead of using it. It doesn't make any sense. What are you going to bet this doesn't open? Ah, wrong. It does open. Okay, cool. Half the doors in this game will say it doesn't open from this side. We're eventually going to end up on Futamata Road, which will eventually take us to the real quest that we're on, even though we're doing a lot of exploring along the way. Yeah, I find it really, really hard to just go directly to the quests. This is an example of one of those little ghost guys I was talking about.
To be able to paint him. Painting Takeda Shingen is the very reason I left home, but now I've become a ghost.
I think we fought Takeda already. If we haven't, we will fight him. Some of these bosses we fight multiple times, but I'm not sure about this one.
Lord Shingen's true nature. I can see you have an artistic eye as well. Surely it must be fate that we met here.
Because the final boss is not Shingen.
Anything of Lord Shingen's, will you show it to me?
It's Nobuhara, so let's see. Acquire something related to Takeda. Alright, cool. Of course, it's probably in another zone somewhere. Right, that's a different quest. That's a Hanzo quest right there. We'll be doing that too. I know, we'll find it. Let's grab the shrine. I will say the shrines are fairly plentiful in the game. I mean, if you're close enough, they sort of show up as locked on the map. But it's definitely worth your time going and finding it, unlocking it, just so that if something happens, you can always come back to the one nearest where you were. There's always one close to wherever whatever the main quest line is. The only time that might not be true is in the Crucible. Because on the map they might appear to be really, really close to one another, but they may be on a totally different level. Like on a cliff above where you are, in a cavern below where you are. It's just hard to tell.
Very well. Naito Masatoya of Takeda's 4 vessel shall be your opponent.
And I'll say again, the only reason I'm playing this in English, which I don't like doing, I'd rather play this in, the game's intended native language. In this case, it would be Japanese. And part of the reason I don't like doing it is because the voice actors who play the English versions always sound like British. I have nothing against British folks, but I'm like, clearly these aren't Brits. But okay, I just died. I should have been paying attention. But one of the reasons I do it is because I was told once that if I'm listening to the game and, doing other things, multitasking,
A new face on the battlefield.
I won't understand what's going on.
Naito Masatoya of Takeda's 4 vessel shall be your opponent.
And I'm thinking to myself, well, why don't you just watch instead of just listening? But I don't know what people's preferences are. When I did Black Myth Wukong, it was in Chinese. And I enjoyed it. It's like anime. I prefer watching anime in its native language because the English versions of it just sounds silly. I mean, for years, I avoided Naruto because on American TV, the voice actor for Naruto sounded like a little bratty idiot. I mean, he was bratty, but I prefer the Japanese voices much more. This guy's kind of tough. So I will continue this one in English, but maybe the next time I play a samurai type game, I'll stick to the intended native language. I mean, I recognize that people can subtitle it in any language they want, so, but it's just the sound of the voice is so off-putting. when you're expecting someone to have a, you know, what you imagine a samurai voice to be. In these tough times, and then you get this voice that sounds like they should be in a restaurant.
I may have underestimated you, but you were still no match for me.
Or in a corporate room somewhere. It just sounds funny. I haven't figured out what to do when they block yet. I guess there's a grapple move you can do when they do that. So the pinwheel, which is an early shuriken that you can get, if you time it and throw it right and the person's standing in the right spot, I think I mentioned this in previous videos, you can hit the enemy twice. There's the fire shuriken, there's the paralysis shuriken. See, that one only hit him once. But if he's right directly in front of you and not off on an angle, you can hit him twice. Yeah, the attack that seems to work against him is this jump up attack. The game's AI hasn't figured out that that's what I've been doing for the last 10 minutes.
To think I could be bested like this.
Now, I've tried that approach. He's a formidable enemy. Okay, I believe you. I've tried that approach with other enemies in a game, and it works against most. It does not necessarily work against bosses who can sort of knock you out of the sky. So when you do that jump up, as long as you're swinging your blades, you'll stay up, you know, pretty good. But bosses don't care. They, you know, our main bosses don't care. They'll just knock you right out of your intended motion there. Okay, as always, we can see there's a guy here, and there's a Kodama up here as well. You know, one of the things I discovered is I probably don't need the treasure sensing mask as much as I thought I did. Earlier, it was helpful. Now, I don't think I need it. And I've never used the enemy sensing mask. There you are. Maybe I should try it, but I'm not getting ambushed all over the place.
What was I thinking fighting the yokai? I don't have the makings of a foot soldier.
See, like, even that voice acting doesn't sound like, you know, someone who would be a soldier in this particular era. And I know that if I were playing this in Japanese language, it would not sound like that. I'm 100% sure it wouldn't come off like that. I had a similar thing with Expedition 33, where this is sort of a French theme, but everybody spoke with a British accent. And I was like, I know it's just right across the channel from one another, but really, guys, you couldn't get someone that had a French accent. So I don't know, it's just a pet peeve I have with the way... I don't know who's in charge of that, whether it's the developers or producers or directors or who decides that. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Probably works more if it was a neutral accent. Like there was a sort of a Scottish or Irish accented character in Black Myth Wukong, and I was like, wow, I don't understand that. Now, again, I play the game in Chinese, so I didn't notice it as much. But when I was watching someone else's playthrough, so why does this guy sound like he's from Scotland? I guess part of the reason they do it is to try to reach a broader audience. And of course, it's your preference. I don't have to play it in English, right? So I guess part of it is I shouldn't complain about it because it's my choice to play the game in English. If I wasn't recording for content, I would always play in the native language. But when when I started recording for content, and that one person told me, I don't always watch, and sometimes I'm just listening. And in a game like this, where it's action-oriented, I don't know why you would just listen to this game. There's a lot of fighting going on, so I'm like, why you would do it. In a game like Crimson Desert, lots of dialogue, story, so maybe you can get by being a little bit distracted if you're just watching it. Or maybe I'm just an idiot for listening to the guy. I don't know. Okay, I can never pull up the gesture thing quick enough to not get into a fight with these guys. So if I know that's what's in the little box, or the likelihood, then I'll pull it up in advance. If I'm not sure, I'll just go up to the box, open it, and then all of a sudden he's doing a gesture, and I'm like, oh, shoot. Okay, we got a guy on a horse. A horse with no head. These guys look intimidating, but they're no stronger than a regular enemy. But they look, I guess because they're on a horse and they're higher than you, they just seem really, really intimidating. Okay, so maybe we don't want to deal with him right now. There's a little bit more. There's a little bit more to explore in this region. So we head to the right side of the map, from where we came in across the little bridge. We'll follow the river as long as we can. Where is this? Okay, there's treasure here. Trying to get the lay of the land here. We'll take this guy out. Okay, this rock is not hiding me. He came right over to where I was. Like, I just watch you shoot the head off my buddy. Yeah, the little jumping and swinging attack is pretty effective against humans. Against non-field boss humans, let me put it that way. I still think the field bosses are a little bit tougher to do that with. Although it worked with the last guy, it just took longer. Yep. Increased skill capacity is always a good thing. And even that can be situational too, by the way. When you're going in and you're looking at your skills, and I hear a Chichiko. He's around here somewhere. And you are trying to decide which ones you should use. There are certain ones that are considered to be like sort of best in category that you have to have. Like Awakening, if you're an Onmyo mage, is one of those ones that you have to have because it allows you to cast faster. So to me, that would not be situational. That one I would always want equipped on my samurai character, on my sort of ninja character.
Lord Takechiyo. Excellent timing. I
Sorry,
was hoping
Hanzo.
to meet with one of our spies, Hayatamaru, but
All right, buddy.
Takedo's forces
I
are
almost
everywhere.
shot your head off.
Could you lend a hand?
Sure thing. So we're going to be, well, actually, we're going to go get the shrine first. That's the most important thing. And then we will work with Hanzo to find his spy. Okay, so it's in Futamata Road, which we haven't done anything in yet. Yeah, so one of my intentions was to do like a little region at a time. That was before I knew how the game was sort of, how the game was being sort of laid out. So in some cases, you're not going to complete a whole region. I guess you could explore as much as you can. But there are actually quests in each of these regions. And so the way it's intended to be played is for you to sort of deal with those quests first. You know, which is okay, because I said you can always come back to these areas, and it's very easy to get back to an area. And in some of these areas, like if you clear an enemy camp, and then you come back to the enemy camp, the enemies won't be back. But if you're just going in the world, and there are enemies around, and you rest at a shrine, those enemies will come back. But if it's an enemy camp that you've cleared, they won't. And of course, any of the bosses that you've killed will not return either. So I think it's important to sort of strategize when you do that. I mean, I've been back to certain areas multiple times, mainly because I've gotten lost. So far, I should knock on wood. So far, so good. I haven't gotten lost yet today. Well, I guess the other thing too is since we're on this quest with Hanzo, we know where our destination lies on the map.
They've completely wrecked the fields. They even ruined the tea leaves, meant for Lord Ieyasu.
So in some cases, getting to these places looks easy when you pull up the map, and then it turns out there's no road leading there, and you have to figure out the workaround to get to those particular places. That's an experience I've had a few times in this game. Like, I can see it on the map. I can't figure out how to get over there. Again, it's part of the puzzle experience. and I'm okay with that. I'm not going to complain about that. Actually, I am going to complain about it. So, if I'm running around for like 45 minutes to try to figure out how to get from point A to point B, then I'll complain about it. But if it's 10 minutes, then I'm like, I think I need to go in the other direction, or I haven't progressed another quest far enough to get a key that I need, or something along those lines. And I'm okay with that. But if it's one of those ones where, you know, there's a secret cave.
Hayatamaru has the talent to be a fantastic ninja, but tends to run wild. So I have to go out to the rescue from time to time.
A secret cave behind a bunch of boxes. You have to knock the boxes down to discover the cave. That kind of stuff is like crazy. I mean, like, really? I believe that's how you actually end up getting the fire shuriken. I think it's the fire one. One of those weapons is sort of you can run past it like 12 times and never think anything's over there. So the game definitely wants you to explore, which is fine. I'm okay with the exploration part. I love that. And again, after playing Crimson Desert, you know, I don't think anything's going to beat that game in terms of sheer exploration. Maybe Elden Ring and Shadow of the Erdtree comes close, because it is also a fairly expansive map. Another one that lost his head. So when I play a game like this, which I will say I needed something that's a little bit more simplified after Crimson Desert, 300 hours of Crimson Desert. I was like, okay, I need something less cerebral. Although some elements of this is pretty cerebral because of the time shifts. And I don't know, we have a Kodama up there. And I don't know what the next game is. I usually sort of map out the games that I'm going to play for the year. But then, you know, some of the developers, you know, they'll give you, you'll have a date, like in December, January when I come up with my list. And then March, you'll get these updates. Oh, it's not going to be released until November, or it's not going to be released until 2027. So the things I say I'm going to play, I end up not playing in some instances. And this year will be a relatively short list. I try to do between 9 and 10 a year. But with Elden Ring taking up as much time as it, not Elden Ring, Crimson Desert taking up as much time as it did, not likely that I'm going to play 9 games this year. Okay, so there's the key we needed for that door that was locked. But I don't stress over it. I mean, in terms of amount of content, it's exactly the same. If I'm recording, you know, uploading 2 videos a week, whether that's 5 games or whether that's 10 games, doesn't really matter. It's still going to be 2 videos a week. I don't have the bandwidth, mental bandwidth, to do 3 or 4 a week, unless they're all going to be really short. If we're doing half-hour videos, yeah, I could do that. Okay, this guy's a master, so he's not going to fight us because we have Hanzo with us.
What business have you all the way out here? A traveling martial artist? You certainly do look the part. Alas, I have no stomach for crowds. Come back alone if you wish to speak with me.
And of course, I can't get rid of Hanzo because we're on a quest for him. So that will stay on the map. And we'll come back to it at some point when Hanzo and I are done with our quests. So now we just go back to trying to find his spy. It's the downside to not having a cell phone. Otherwise, you can just call him. Or tell him to drop you a pin so you'll know where he is. Okay. Nice. So, again, the game wants you to explore.
Is that Lord Takechiyo? Let me assist you.
Why are they picking on us campus? Oops.
Compose yourself.
Compose myself? You got the jump on me.
Here comes another one. Whew. That was quite the fight. Thanks for your help. Hayatomaru is right here, actually. In any case, we've managed to learn a great deal about our enemy.
Yeah, the spy is this
Your
campus.
body control and movements are excellent. If an opportunity presents itself, don't let me forget to give you some training.
Okay. Interesting. The Scampus as a summons.
Your body control and movements are excellent. If an opportunity presents itself, don't let me forget to give you some training.
So as a summons, they do a lot of key damage. I don't know how helpful they are, though, to be honest with you. I mean, when you consider all the other possibilities in terms of summons that you have, I'm not sure that going with a Scampus is one of those ones that would make sense. Okay, so may as well continue exploring Futamata Road. There's plenty of stuff to do here. So remember the headless horse and the horseman. Now we're going to take them on. Okay, so that was messier than it needed to be. They're not super difficult, and they don't have huge health pools. But like I said, he's riding a horse, and so it's a little intimidating. Okay, so there's a guy up ahead. Who said that? Was it this guy? Yeah, it was, since he's shooting at me. Not sure how he spotted me. Okay, you know what? Wow. Okay, buddy, you're really good. He shot me out of the air. All right, took care of him. Okay, so there are 2 roads we can take. Let's take the leftmost road. What, does everyone have a gun? Okay. Yeah, this level design is pretty interesting. Okay, I was just gonna say there's gotta be a shrine nearby. Yeah, nope. Before we get there, we have an enemy camp to contend with. All right. Nice. Let's do this. 6 enemies. What do you want to bet we can snipe a whole host of them? All right. And now there are 5. And Buddy wants a piece of the action. Okay. Now there are 4. Yeah, the funny thing is, with all the commotion, swords clanging and all this other stuff going on, the only time the enemies will sort of be aware of you and aggro is when you get one of those guys that blows the horn, sort of warning the group. Then they all show up. There's a shrine over there. Okay, that leaves 3. Or you have a dog that warns everybody. Or a wolf. Does he count? Yes, he does. Yeah, a lot of the actually, at least up to this point, none of the enemy camps have been very difficult. The largest enemy camp that we've had to deal with so far is 11. Most of them are in this 6-7 range. 11 is the most that we had to contend with. And even that wasn't difficult. I mean, you simply would just kite them over one at a time and pick them off one at a time. Okay, this one didn't die. for some reason, he decided to run straight at me, even though I'm holding a rifle. Grab this chest. Okay, there's one on the roof up here to the left, who apparently knows I'm here, but lost his head all the same. Oh, that's it. All right. I'm always surprised when there's not a bigger enemy, but I guess if there was, we would have seen the sort of dark realm haze around an enemy if that were the case, and that wasn't true here. So this was an easy camp. I should throw one more enemy here. I press a whole bunch of different buttons. This kappa is pretty annoying. I hate when they run away. But then I guess if someone were coming after me with samurai swords, I'd run away too. He's juking me out, causing me to lose all my ki. Okay, there we go. I think that's it here. Okay, so we have another crucible node further north, and one to our east. Okay, let's take out this. Of course, I pull out a rifle and he hides. But we know he's coming back because he's just following a track. Ninja locks. I have not used the tonfas yet. So we have actually 3 crucible nodes. There's one in the tree, there's one before the tree, and then there's one to the west of the tree.
Lord Tamuramaro, we beseech thee and beg for your protection.
And we found a hot spring. These are located in the most obscure of places. You're like, what's over here? And you go there and you find it's a hot spring. Now, I think the last one we found in a previous episode was near a boss, which made it helpful. I don't know about this one. So this must be the door that couldn't open from the other side. Yes. There are a few of those, and they don't always lead to a hot spring, but I'm certainly not complaining about that one. Okay, Question is, do I need assistance for this one? This is one of those Crucible gauntlets. Yeah, water shot would have been helpful here. Okay, is that it? Nope. Because the music didn't stop. Okay, they're one of these guys. Yeah, you know the routine, you know the drill. Chip away at his ankles. The good thing is these guys are slow, so it's not all that difficult to stay away from most of their attacks. Trying not to run into the lava. Crystals off of one of his legs and one of his arms. Now we have it off his back. With one left on his arm and one left on his other leg. So if you're looking for a weak point to work, it's where the crystals are. Wilding out, but he's about to. There we go. Alright, we have another Gaki Chief Soul Core. I think it's like the third one we have. And then this thing here allows us to break the crucible in this area. And we have access to a chest. Okay, so now we get to continue our way through the Futamata Road. Actually, there's a Jesu statue. And there are 2 more of those crucible nodes. Just trying to reorient myself here. All right, where am I going? What is the correct? Okay, this should work. I mean, with ears that big, you didn't hear me coming. Your little partner over here didn't hear me coming either. So we're gonna see if we can get a backstab on him. He is very occupied with whatever he's doing. Double hit with my pinwheel shuriken. I'm gonna grab this. Nice. So there's treasure, there's kodamas. I don't know where there's a treasure chest in here. So, I admit it, he did cause me to jump scare. He popped out of nowhere. And if you jump in the water, you will die. So just be careful. We have a couple of areas to hop across. Okay, this one seems like it's easier to get to from here. So let's see if that's true. Yes, it is. Okay, baby crab. He's so cute. Trying to act just like the adults. I knew that. I was like, I know there's got to be another one over here. I'm guessing that's it. So we break this, which means there should only be one crucible thingy left. Yes. The main one. And we have that Kodama, and we have a Jesus statue. When in doubt, always pull up a map. When in doubt. I know you guys must be saying, my God, how many times is this guy gonna look at a map? Some of these places are a little bit twisty and curvy, so I will look at the map often to make sure I'm oriented in the right direction. Because the little heads-up map isn't all that helpful. I mean, it's helpful, I guess, if you're close to wherever the item is. Not helpful when you're like, okay, how do I get to the big tree in the middle that has the last crucible thing on it? How do I get to this chest? How do I get to the last Kodama? It's really great about picking up the small loot.
From that thing. We've got to get out of here.
We have the giant caterpillar. Not so bad. I wonder if they're all the same size or whether some of those are bigger than others. I swore one we fought earlier seemed bigger. Okay, so we have an item. An item up here. The question is, can you jump up here? The answer is yes. Nice. Anti-paralytic needles, which I don't use. Oh my God, we have one of the snake ladies, or eel ladies, or whatever the heck she is. Well, you know what? I guess it makes sense to have the anti-paralytics on this section because of her skill. This idiot up here. Why don't you hop down here and do that? Okay, no problem. I'll hop up. Okay. Well, he tried to get away. Okay, so we have the Kodama, and then we have the last crucible thingy. So the question, what was that? Sounds like another one of those. Well, I hear the Kodama. Of course, it's too far away. And of course, he's slightly behind a rock of some type. Oh my gosh. Okay. You're not bothering me. I won't bother you. Where is the Kodama? It's right above me. Right there. The question is, how do you get there? We have to work our way around, but before we do that, we're going to take out this Kappa, who's minding his own little business. But he actually gives us a lot of loot when we take him out. Told you. Okay. Back to the Kodama. Never leave a Kodama behind. You have to work your way all the way around to climb up to the top, to climb across to the other side. So it's just following the tree branches. And with that, we are ready for... Actually, we probably should go to the shrine. Actually, let's grab this, and we looks like we have a
sacred grove. If it is cursed, then it must be purified.
Yeah, I don't think they are all the same size. This one seems bigger than the last one. Ouch. This one apparently likes to jump. He didn't leave a lot of loot. Okay, so this looks like it leads to the crucible thingy. It's a knockdown tree. We went back and leveled up because we're carrying around a lot of Emerita, so we didn't want to potentially lose that. So now we're ready to go. And as always, you get to see one death, not the other 25 that followed. Oh, that's not true in this particular instance. And there we have it. Another one down. Grab all the loot we can. And now we head to the main quest of the area. Actually, I think it's in this area. I think it's in the adjacent region. But the quest line will be the battle of Futamata Castle. We have a big chest in this room. These always feel like there's some boss hidden in here. And look at that. No boss. Just a simple chest. We got another chest. Got another chest. Another shrine. And we have another Kappa. These poor guys. I guess part of it is the first game was probably, I don't know whether they knew it was going to be a series when they did it, but an introduction to some of these creatures and these characters.
I have to go and get reinforcements.
And I definitely don't remember.
Futamata won't last.
I don't remember there being that many Kappa or Kodama in the last game in Nioh 2. a little partner who's going to help us through the Dark Realm. So let's do this. Okay, we have another headless horse and his rider. And I died. Okay, so let's do what we didn't do the first time, which is to grab the Jizu statues. I don't know how I missed it. I probably missed it because I was running with this little partner guy. And now we're gonna make our way up and around, do a little extra exploring before we eventually get back to the Dark Realm. So one of the things I'm exploring is armor set that gives you life based on the Amarita you receive. There's also one that gives you life based on the purification. There's some that give you speed based on purification. So when you're in those sort of key pools, or dark realm pools, whatever you call them, and they need to be purified. If you purify it, you gain speed or you gain life. So if you're trying to build a I can't be killed build, that's what you would use, something along those lines. I don't I don't think I have all the pieces to do something like that at this point. And that's okay. You know, I think by the time we get to mid game and late game, you'd want something like that for a little bit more protection against some of the more difficult bosses. Because I do think there are certain bosses that are skill check bosses. I think the Blood Edge Demons are skill check bosses. I think there are a couple of formidable foes that are optional bosses. The Demon of Pride is one, and the Demon of Envy is the other. I don't know if there's a third one. They might be, but they're very, very difficult bosses. They don't stop your progress in the game. So if you fight them and you can't defeat them, you can always go back to them. Just make a note of where they're located on your map. But if you're able to defeat them, you get a pretty decent soul core. And I think they do pretty well as a summons as well. So you may want to look them up. The Blood Edge Demons will show up on the map, and I've happened upon them. I've never been successful in following the arrows on the map that point generally in the direction that a Blood Edge Demon might be at. I've accidentally found two. And one of them I fought a lot, probably 15 times, and died every time. And so when I went back, after leveling up a little bit, went back a couple of days later, he wasn't there anymore. So they don't stay where you might see them. So if you want to fight them, you should fight them when you find them. I don't know whether there's a set time for them to be in a particular area, but they definitely don't stay where you see them the first time you see them. And of course, like I said, I summoned these red marker ones and fought them, and when they die, their little spirit heads in the direction of the Blood Edge Demon. But in some places where you're located, the direction it's sending you in, you can't go in that direction. That was my experience in one case. So it's pointing to, let's say it's pointing to the west, and to the west is a mountain. You know, so I'm like, maybe it's on the other side of this building, so we just go outside and run around the building, and it's not there. So that meant it was likely on the other side of the mountain. Right? Okay. I should focus on the game. Alright, so let's start where we left off, where this little fat bastard killed us. I am talking to the audience and you disrupt me by killing me while I'm trying to explain all about the Blood Edge Demons. I'm gonna have to put you to rest because of that. See, and this one looks bigger than the last one we fought. I didn't know they could do that. Okay, that's better. So yeah, so hunting the Blood Edge demons down by following those little arrow markers is not, at least for me, not that helpful. So whenever you find one, even if you don't want to fight it immediately, what I would do is put a marker down, so you know exactly where it is, and you can always go back to it. Now, if it's not there when you go back to the marker, then too bad, it's just moved on. But if you're gonna, if you're doing an exploration and you don't want to disrupt where you're heading to fight it because it will take multiple attempts, then just put the marker down, go on to where you're going to go, and then come back after you do that. That would be my suggestion. Okay, so we have... Okay, so we're back to where we died earlier. I don't intend to die again. Can these guys come? Oh, yes, they can. Huh. I was like, can they come out of the Dark Realm? Apparently they can. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna kite a few of them out if we can. We'll deal with the headless horse guy. See if we can get... I think he's on the other side of that. There we go. Okay. I guess he got a little smarter than his buddy and he's just going to shoot at us. He wanted to stay over there and just eat lightning balls. We'll let him. Okay, there's a guy up above. Okay, that takes care of you and your bazookas. I don't know where the headless guy went. Or the headless horse guy. His arm is a crab claw. Alrighty. Guess I'm having crab meat for dinner. I thought there was a guy over there who was shooting at us, but I don't see him. Okay, that we can't get until we clear whoever the boss of this area is. Okay, so there are... yeah, there is one more. And there's the horse guy. Alright. I was going to say, there are no more enemies down here, but there are two. That's... Eventually I'm going to switch to the hand cannon for the samurai build. I think it does a significantly more damage than the rifle. I'm not sure it's one of those things that can one-shot these guys anyway, but like I said, they're not difficult enemies. to just look intimidating because they're on a horse with no head. Yeah, when he jumps up in the air, he's always going to throw his spear. Apparently he cannot throw it through a wall. And he doesn't look like he's coming out of this dark realm. Oh, I take that back. He did. Yeah, I don't know how to counter that. Because he does the red attack, and then he starts spinning, and then he's moving at the same time, so I'm like, okay, which part of that am I supposed to block? If you do it too early, it's ineffective. Okay, nice. That was it? So he was the boss of... Yeah, I guess he was. Huh. Okay. So let's go get that. Let's go get the chest that was locked away. Paralytic ground fire. Okay, since you were sleeping on the job while your boss was getting killed, and his headless horse, you and your bazooka arm were standing over there looking at the fire. Okay, well, let's go grab the shrine, and then we can, well, let's grab the loot first. Most important. Lots of loot. Okay, let's grab this loot as well, and then we will grab the shrine. Another one that was just slouching on the job. Hatchets, We have some more accessories. Okay. So with that done, we still have the Chichigo. That is lying around somewhere. I'm trying to... There you are. I was trying to stand still to see if I see him move. He's right above us. Okay. All right, samurai lock. I wonder if it just alternates between samurai and ninja, or is it something to do with the region or something like that that determines whether it's a samurai or a ninja lock? I haven't been paying attention to how much of each kind we get, but I know we've gotten both. We've gotten both samurai and ninja locks. Okay, we have an enemy that's bulking up. He skulks no more. Yeah, we have another enemy over there. We'll go down to our left. I guess this is where the enemy sensor mask would be helpful. Is that you would know exactly how many enemies are in the area. Hey, buddy. I guess that could work when you're doing these camps. Actually, no. When you're doing this type of camp, yes. But when you're doing the regular enemy camps, it tells you how many enemies there are, so you don't really have to worry about locating them. I mean, they're not usually spread out so far that you can't figure it out in 5 minutes where they are. Okay, we have a chest and we have a couple of little loot. At least, at least that particular guy was being cautious. The other ones were, they'll just walk towards you or run towards you when you're standing there with a big rifle. Oops, there's somebody else. Someone with a rifle, who I do not see. Who? Oh, you. Okay.
What was that?
Ouch. How do you like that? Okay, boss man's coming out here with a big ass weapon.
Not over yet.
That's what you think. I say differently. Let's grab this. Take care of this guy over here. Of course, he has a rifle. Oh, rifle's not helping him now. Alright, just checking all the buildings to make sure I'm not missing anything. We have a chest somewhere. We're just gonna take care of, well, he's walking back into the building. Let's see if we can get him before he goes in. Nope. Gotcha. And his little buddy is gonna come up to defend his honor. He didn't die, so I'm guessing he's going to find the quickest route back up here, which he did. His life is hanging on by a thread. He's hopping up again. And we put him out of his misery. think there's anybody else over here. And there is the chest. As always, I look up to make sure there's nothing hiding in the rafters. Okay. We will continue making our way up to Futamata Castle. Looting along the way and taking on enemies along the way. Mirage Fortress. Just checking to see what else we have to get in this area, but we're going to work our way up. As always, the music signifies... Oh, there's our buddy. All right, let's
Lord
talk to him.
Takechiyo. Gaze upon the mist covering the castle. I wonder if the castle's Lord Nakane is safe. I will attack from the rear. You will assault the main entrance. Gunners will surely be posted on the walls. A stealthy advance is possible, but bringing down their command structure is also an option. I will attack from the rear. You will assault the main entrance. Gunners will surely be posted on the walls. A stealthy advance is possible, but bringing down their command structure is also an option.
Okay. So I'm assuming this is the correct way to go, but I could be wrong. Let's grab the shrine. The good thing about unlocking all of the various kinds of blessings is that by the time you're done with the Kodamas and the Chizu statues, you get some pretty nice buffs. And not to forget the prestige titles. So if you
Strange mist has enveloped the castle keep. I hope the reinforcements don't turn heel.
So if you explore like I do and you find all of these things, there is a payoff for it. Now when you're going through some of this, it doesn't always seem like there is, but there is a payoff. So locating every Kodama in the game, even though sometimes they're located in some weird spots, I think has a great payoff. The same thing with the statues. The same thing with the Chichigos, where you get the either the samurai locks or the samurai points or the ninja points. I mean, I'm assuming you can play through the whole game and not do those things, and will end up somewhat weaker as you go through the game. Actually, I can't imagine, being weaker trying to get through the game. Okay, so I don't think I'm going to be able to hop over this wall. Even though it looks like you can. So I'm guessing then this might be the rear of the castle and not the front of the castle. So I'm not sure how Hanzo's going to get in, but he seems to have his own plan. We're going to work our way around here. Uh-oh. Oh well, I've been spotted. Yeah, there's a lookout. When... He will see no more. But also in that wall where you see the little holes in the wall, there are gunmen lining those walls. I'm pretty sure they can see me. I can't really see them, and there's nothing I can do about them until I'm up top. So it is a bit of a fortress. Or maybe they don't see me. Or maybe they're all taking a lunch break. Is this the way to go? Oh, that was different. Okay, well, he's done for. Yeah, that was odd because it looked like a big rock. So it's like, can I even go this way? Anyway, we are going to continue our little journey around here, taking loot, being careful. This does not seem like a front entrance, but I am able to get in. There's lots of stuff over there. The music is funny. It has the kind of music that these guys are. Or if you're watching a spy movie, this is when you're sort of scoping out your territory or the place you're about to infiltrate. Okay, they deserve that for letting me get in here, since they were on lookout patrol. The guy up top blew the whistle. They watched me kill the guy who blew the whistle, and still they let me get in. Alright, this is the first of a number of chests, and you can see there are 2 Kodama on the map. There's an enemy right there, and I'm pretty sure there's another one in the room beyond. Let's take this guy out first. Okay, of course it doesn't take him out. I wonder if I'm using the strongest bow. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I haven't looked at them in a while, so it might be time to upgrade. I haven't tried using kunai yet. I'm not sure they're stronger than shuriken, so I don't know whether I'm leaving anything on the table by not playing with them. But maybe when I'm exploring I can actually try them out. Love the bow and arrow in this game. Okay, we can unlock that door. Yeah, I don't understand why it takes out some of the enemies and some of them it doesn't. Because there's no charged shot unless I misunderstood how the bow and arrow works. So it's just odd that some enemies from the same distance you can take out, and other enemies from that distance will end up alive. And the same is true with the gun, although I don't understand how that's possible with a rifle. Well, this guy ran into the bullet, so he sort of deserved that. I'm using I switched to the poison shuriken to sort of test it out versus the pinwheel one. I have to remember to open that gate. And the poison doesn't seem to be all that potent. Running around in circles here. I think... No, this is a different one. I was like, is this a drop down from where we came in? But I don't remember seeing a ladder when we came in. This is one of those areas. Although maybe it is, because there's the shooting holes. I don't know. We'll figure it out. This is one of these issues where there is not a direct route to the objective, to the place where you want to get. Some of it is locked off. Some of it is walled off. I don't know whether you need a key for any of it. But it is possible that you do. So, where are you, Kodama? I can't hop onto the wall. I don't think you're in this room. Well, no, I can't get in there anyway. Okay. I had to do some serious editing. Trying to find that kickdown thingy was almost impossible. The Kodama is in the last stall in this place. No, not the last one. Okay. Third one. Yeah, see, they place these in some really weird positions. Oh my god, none of these guys heard me? Huh. Okay, well, now all of a sudden they heard me. Yeah, Mr. Sharpshooter, you didn't hear any of that. Maybe they wear earplugs because they use rifles. I don't know. I mean, I just hacked your commander down, rescued the Kodama, kicked down the drop down thing, and they didn't even move. Okay, we can't go any further up there, so let's go down. Yeah, this Mirage Fortress area, you would want to sort of take your time in.
Abandon this location! Make them fight in the moat!
And use the mini-map. Well, I guess this is a moat. Use the mini-map to grab as much of the loot as you can. As you can see, there are just a boatload of Kodamas and other things to grab at the actual castle. Yeah, watch out for this. If you walk up there, a guy's going to push it down. And I know there's a way to sneak up behind the guy. I guess if you're coming from a different direction, you can sneak up behind him. Yeah, my Omnio magic is not as strong. And I'm not, once I get to 40, I'm not going to continue to invest in magic unless I've gotten everything else that I want, and then I'll go back to investing in magic. But I think I need to use armor and weapons that actually synergize with Omnio magic, and I'm not necessarily doing that. I've been using, yikes, I've been using the highest defense armor. Oh shoot. Yeah, I've been using the highest defense, and maybe that's not always the smartest thing in the world. There is a nice. There is a talisman that you get later in the game called Calamity that significantly increases your damage output, but it also makes you more vulnerable. And because I'm really not that good at blocking and dodging and all that good stuff, I'm not sure I'll use it. Or maybe I'll try it and see how it works. Go back and fight one of those, like the Demon of Envy, or one of the Blood Edge demons, if I can find them with that. Because I think part of the issue is I run out of resources before I'm able to whittle their health down. So you're fighting, and you know, you're gonna take some clip damage, even if you manage to use the sort of the ninja run around and use ninja tools on them, which you can do because you sort of get some of those back when you dodge. Well, I couldn't get behind them, so. But the problem is, when they go into their final phase, a lot of the bosses get a little bit wilder, and you're taking some significant clip damage. And I admit, I don't block as much as I should in this game. I mean, if you're wise and you block and then you get out of the way, you will survive a lot of that stuff. If you continually block and you get hit, your ki will not return, and the next time you get hit, you'll get knocked over, or it'll take away your health and all that good stuff. So it really is the folks who look at all this stuff up there, and we're going to get all of it. The folks who have mastered the art of sort of managing their ki as they're fighting are usually going to be the more successful people at this game. I mean, we'll all be successful because we're going to finish the game. No doubt about that. And we're going to collect all of the loot, no doubt about that. And we are going to try to get all the optional bosses as well. So there are things we're going to do that will give us a successful rating at the end of the game. It may not be easy, but we're going to definitely do it. There were only 2 of the 75 or so bosses in Crimson Desert that I couldn't find. And I think they were both in Hernand, and I did everything I could do in Hernand, so it must be locked behind some other quest. The one thing I didn't do is I didn't hunt down all of the criminals, all the outlaws. That just became tedious, and each area has a bunch of outlaws. I mean, a bunch. I mean, you know, you pick off the notifications off the walls and off the posts, and before you know it, you have like 15 of them. And after you do 3 or 4, and you realize that getting them back to the constabulary is just a pain in the ass, you just like, I don't want to do that anymore. Doing that. The Skeleton Warrior as a soul core is actually pretty good. the one where you get 2 skeleton warriors who are shooting the guns. They do fire damage, so it might be good to use those against a water-based boss. So I think we talked before. I mean, so the game does have some parts of it that's very situational in terms of what loadout you use for which areas you're covering. You know, by the time this video comes out, I'll be in an area that is snowy. And of course, I will have equipped water shot and all that stuff that's water-based in the snow area, which is probably not the way to go. In that area, I probably should be using fire-based types of things, including my guardian spirit. And this one is lightning, so that's not too bad. And I think lightning is one of those ones you can use in. I think lightning is actually more effective in watery areas, and I guess snow is water. I don't know about fire. Okay, well, I don't need to worry about him. So this is the area where you dip in and out of all these houses to get treasure and kodamas. Okay, so treasure's not in this one. Maybe it's in this one? No, it's not. There it is. This is probably the most concentrated amount of loot in one area in the game so far. When you look at the map, it's just tons of stuff. And because it's a sort of a mountain with a fortress on top of that mountain, it's layered. So it's not all on one level. So when you're looking for this stuff and you think, but I looked over there and there's nothing over there. Well, that's because whatever you're looking for is likely below or above you. And if you're close to whatever the item is, you'll get a little symbol letting you know that it's above you or below you. But if you're not close, you won't get that symbol. So we're moving from balance, where we had 10s across the board, to much more Omnio focused. Recognizing that at some point you will get to a point where investing in Omnio won't get you as much as you had, so you should fill out the other things that support your ninjutsu before you go back to adding more to Omnio. Okay, that door doesn't open. I hope that's not the door I walked past earlier from the other side. Our goal is to make our way closer to the castle proper. Oh, we have 3 balls. One wasn't enough, so they want to super kill you by rolling 3 of them down. The first counter thing when he went red like that. When you're close to them and they do it, I think it almost always works. It's when the enemy has a little bit of a distance and they're jumping sort of up instead of coming towards you. Like some of the enemies will dive towards you with the red burst, and they're easy, for me at least, they're very easy to counter. So that's an example of if I had the gear on where I purified, if I had purified, I would have regained my ki much faster. So, I mean, I really am beginning to think that I need to settle on a strategy for what's more important to me in terms of key regeneration, in terms of guardian spirit charge, and those kinds of things. Or living artifact charge, I guess is the way to put it. But a living artifact is almost always charged. I just don't use it as much as I should. I think part of it is, you know, the control scheme. L1 plus triangle when everything else is on my right hand. So it's just a little different. Like that one. I'm assuming if I was close to him when he did that, I would have been able to get the key burst. Or the... Is that it? Like that, right? See, that one I can't figure out. Because he's just swinging wildly when the red cloud appears. Okay, I'm breaking my own little promise here. May as well switch to the higher weapon. That's sort of what you would want to do, unless you have something that's a favorite and you plan to stick with that, because you can always go back to the Eternal Rift and level it up once you find that thing. But I don't know that there is such a thing, that there is the perfect weapon. I mean, you find so many things. I definitely don't want to lose damage per second on any of the new weapons, because that just doesn't make sense. I mean, you want to go with the highest damage output you have on your weapon. Okay, so maybe I wouldn't have been able to get on the other side. And I know the highest damage output in the game seems to be these cudgel type weapons. And if I were playing mostly in warrior mode as a samurai, I probably would at least have one of my weapons be that. But in terms of playing ninja, I'm really not all that keen on using big bonk weapons. I've never been in any of the games I played. I think in Elden Ring I might have tried one of the great swords for a little while, but my preference was not to use the big heavy weapons. And certainly in these kinds of games, I've never gone with the big weapon. In some games you don't have a choice. I mean, in Sekiro, you have a weapon, but you find variations of the same weapon. You don't have a great sword or some... You can't switch to an Odachi in Sekiro. Okay, we have the boss of this little area. He's not the boss of this region, but he's the boss of this little area right there. We're gonna piss him off.
Brave but foolish. No one can stop the fall of the Futamata now.
Nobuhara, who's very much full of himself. See, our little summons will keep him a little bit busy. Alright, not too bad. He has wind damage apparently, which I haven't used I get the impression it's all that strong. Or gale or gust, you know, different variations on wind. I unlocked it, but I haven't used it. Okay, he knocked me out of the sky on that one. Relentless. He's really on the attack. He's coming after me. I like his setup, whatever it is. It's pretty effective. Okay, let's see if we can speed this up a little bit. Probably could have killed him if I gotten a critical hit, which I missed. Who's this other guy? Where the hell did he come from? The lightning seems to be damaging over time. Oh. I don't want to sell out right now. I mean, I'm doing it. I shouldn't say we are doing okay, but I don't want to. Oh, he's coming up with a burst attack. Oh, really?
Such strength. So he had someone like this waiting in the wings all along. That
okay.
dog's full of tricks.
Another formidable enemy. Nice. You can certainly tell. I guess the term for formidable enemy in this game, the term for field boss in this game is formidable enemy. Because they're definitely a step above these guys. Like, I don't know, he's just hiding in there. You should have escaped out that hole in the wall, and then you would have been okay. Okay, so the Kodama that we see on the map was not in that building, but actually... Oh, let's grab this. Yeah, it's deceptive when you... And we have a loot up there. It was deceptive when you looked and you say, oh, well, why can't I get a Kodama from the building? It's like right there. It's not. So we're gonna go around. Well, now we gotta deal with this fuckery over here. It's always something. I will say this is one of the more this is one of the more interesting areas of the overall map. I guess probably as interesting as Hamamatsu. When we were going towards the first castle, we sort of passed through areas that this reminds me of.
Hey, was this wall always here? We can't get to the other side like this.
Hint, hint. Nurikabe. How did this person die? Alright, they were hostile, so let's be nice. Didn't matter which one of these you picked as long as it was the nice one. And what is over here? An enemy? Another enemy? Pick your poison. Few times that actually block that move. The poison doesn't do enough damage to warrant using it. And I know there's some things that will enhance poison, right? Some of the accessories you can use to enhance poison. Maybe even some armor. I'm not sure about the armor.
It's not right. They'd even give out fakes.
Okay, now about that room. Okay, that's different. Oh, I guess that's part of the whole mirage thing, right? Okay, we have a hot spring. Yeah, so I guess maybe that was why that other thing looked like a rock. It was part of the mirage, since this is the mirage fortress. I feel like an idiot if I'm just figuring that out. Maybe that's why this place is so freaking confusing to maneuver around. Okay, so now that we've unlocked the shrine, we can go back and do a little bit more. The boss is actually in this area. So let's go back and do the things we didn't do before. Like deal with whatever's in this room. Oh, another one of these guys. But there must be a chest in there too. Wonder why my evade is not purifying the floor. It should be an automatic purification. I'm pretty sure I have it equipped. Otherwise, the way to do it is to do light attack, ouch, and then R1. So square, this is a PS5, so square R1. I haven't been doing it because I'm not sure how much of a difference it makes. At least for these kinds of enemies. I think in a boss arena, I think it makes a huge difference. So one of the things I think I'm going to try to do, we'll see how successful I am, but I'm going to try to proc confusion, or we used to call it Discord, I don't know why they stopped calling it that, on the enemy by using two different elements. Whether it's fire and water or lightning and water or one of those kinds. I don't know whether fire and lightning work, but you can do 2 or 3 different elements and that will create this purplish glow around the enemy. Now, when that glow is glowing, apparently you do 70% more damage. So as a mage, using that strategy is effective. Now, you have to sort of keep that up. It doesn't last long. Different enemies, it lasts longer on some enemies than on other enemies. In a boss fight, you would have to sort of manage trying to keep that up or beat the boss pretty quickly, one or the other. Okay, buddy, stuck me there. But I think it's a good strategy. Because I've struggled with main bosses in this game. I haven't struggled so much with the smaller bosses. With the main bosses, I've struggled a lot. And I mean, the good thing is when you lose the fight to the boss, you show up back at your shrine, so you're able to say, okay, maybe I need to change my armor. You wouldn't necessarily change your weapon because the weapon you have is generally going to be the best weapon and it's going to have the highest familiarity. So you wouldn't necessarily change that. You could change up some talismans. I don't typically use a lot of buff talismans, and maybe I should be. I see people who do that, like before they go into a boss fight, they put a lot of defensive buffs on. I use Sloth for a little while, but if you're able to get Discord or Confusion on the enemy, I join the clan that when you use Omnio magic, it slows the enemy down. So I don't know whether using that and Sloth at the same time makes sense, especially if there's something else you want to use. I mentioned before, Calamity is one of those ones people talk about. So it might be worth trying, but you're giving up some defense when using that. And as you guys have seen, I need all the defense I can get. So I don't know whether giving defense up is... I don't know whether the risk-reward balance is going to work for me. Okay, we took care of this guy. These guys used to intimidate me. Oh my god. I'm not ready for one of you guys. But we're gonna fight. Well, I didn't see what your gesture was because I was busy trying to get through the menu. It'd be horrible to die to this guy after getting through all of this other stuff. And right before the final boss. See, and I'm taking this poison thing off. It's not doing any damage to these guys. And maybe it works well with humans, but I haven't seen that. I mean, I think you'd have to use all of those shuriken to proc poison on an enemy. If you use 2 or 3, I don't think you're doing anything but wasting your shuriken. Now, I'm guessing there may be a type of enemy that's very weak to poison, and it may be a very effective thing to do. Okay, so we have 2 Kodama very near one another, and they're both on this level, but you have to drop down on the correct side in order to get one of them, and then on the opposite side to get the other one. No, sorry. One's on the roof and the other one is below. So this one you grab, and then the other one is below, and that's where you have to drop down on the correct side in order to get it. So you see the little blockade? So you're going to be on the, I guess, the left side of the blockade facing north. I guess the west side of the blockade if you're facing north. That would be more correct. So there's one more Kodama. There's a couple of loots. There's a chest. and there is a crucible node. We take this guy out. Easy peasy. Go around here to check to see if he was hiding anything of value. Of course, we do this and an enemy pops up. That's okay. And that's the only enemy that's super weak to something, because he's really super weak to fire. Ninja locks. Cool. That shrine is going to be your go-to shrine for this final little section of this area. We're going to take these guys out, grab the chest that's over to the right. Ouch. All these guys block better than I do. Okay. All the gunmen? No, there's one left, and he's not even paying attention to what's going on. So we're gonna hit him with a fire arrow through the brain. Just because we can. Grab all this loot, grab the chest, and then we're ready to confront what is his name? Baba Nobuhara. He's the boss of this area. There's another headless horse and his rider up ahead. So we can start taking him out just to complete the area. And if we die, we don't have to keep taking everybody out. We can just run right back to the boss. Actually, we need to open the door first. See, considering how much Amaretta I'm getting from hurting this guy, it would have been nice if I had the life thing on, because that Amaretta would have been refilling my life as well. Or my health as well. I'm gonna grab this loot.
Who would have thought the castle would fall so quickly? Demons! Demons are coming!
Just checking to see if we're missing. Of course we are. Of course. The game wouldn't be fun if they didn't have a secret enemy. Oh, and this is the Crucible one. Excuse me. Okay, so we needed to take him out anyway. See the little crucible red stuff around his feet? Ouch. So these are fairly random. It could be any enemy that's a crucible enemy. Alright, let's see if I can get it right this time. Oh well, I got a little greedy. Little swing thing. Nah, you're not grabbing me again. Alright. Skeleton warrior, we got another soul core. I need to figure out what to do with all the extra soul cores I have. I think I'm supposed to be able to do something with them. I'm getting tons of them, and you get higher level ones as well. I need to figure out what to do with those. This is the door we open. So if we have to come back here, we would come back from that side, which is closer to the shrine. And then this is the boss. So we're going to fight him solo first. And see what happens. Oh, we have help.
The samurai must lay down his life for
no, we don't.
loyalty. And yet, my loyalty lies in a realm beyond death.
Okay, Baba.
So then, let them call me a demon. None shall hinder my lord's rule.
Okay. So he has a little mirage image of him that comes forward. I don't know whether it can damage you if it hits you, actually. Or whether only the real one can damage you. He's got a lot of health. Jesus. Okay. Oh. Shit. So it looks like his ki is very much affected by the water thingy. Alright. I timed that right for a change. Can't be running for my life. Alright, let's see if we can't take away some of his health. And my Guardian Spirit, actually he's doing a lot of ki damage. I can't get the I missed the critical burst blast thingy. Okay, he's a water-based boss. He's slinging water at us. So lightning would work, fire should work. See, I don't know whether if I was close, whether that would have injured me or whether I could have actually deflected that. Yeah, paralysis is definitely the wrong freaking summon tap with this fight.
My lord's rule.
Okay, so a day later, and probably 25 tries later, we have some help. I tried to be a little bit more patient in this fight. So you go in, take a couple of swings, and then get out. Ouch. Keep running into that big-ass axe he's got. Watch the grab. Get in there and get that. Do some real damage. Got the critical. Nice. Get some more damage in and back out. Our summon is continuing to wail on him. I should be able to dodge those. I mean, he really winds that up. I don't know why I'm getting hit by that. Whoa. Easy dodge, although I should have been able to block that. Okay, so the game wants you to be somewhat aggressive. Because when I'm passive...
Such deftness. Could you be the one who defeated Masakage?
Well, I guess I could still beat him using sort of a passive mode. Like, we've got fire proc on him, which I think is helpful for this fight. But you can look at his health thing, and it's not moving very fast. Oh, shit, I messed that up totally. Okay, what I'm trying to do is use Devigorate to take away some of his defense, so that when we hurt him, we're actually doing more damage. And now he's just swinging wildly, not letting me get a chance to get in and get any hits in.
Not until my lord's control is secured.
Yeah, one of the things about the Dark Realm when he switches into Dark Mode is that you don't recover your ki as fast. So you really do have to be careful. While the enemy might be a little bit weaker, you need to manage your ki really well. Alright, now that we have him down to less than a quarter health, let's see if we can't help him along. This likely won't kill him. I don't think we're going to have enough time, but it'll get him down pretty low. Yeah. Okay, I'll take it. Nice. I'll take it. This was good. This was good. If I timed it just 30 seconds later, we could have killed him when we switched over. Mirage Fortress is completed.
A fine hit.
And well, now you show up, Hanzo. Really, buddy? Really? The hell? You and your partner. I mean,
seems what you did at Hamamatsu Castle wasn't just luck. Well, with
skill.
I will be able to report good news to my lord. Thanks to your distracting the enemies, I was able to save Lord Nakane.
I am Nakane Masateru, protector of Futamata Castle. Our blades proved no match for the yokai, and I feared our fate was sealed, but you saved us all. Thank you. A token of my appreciation. Take it. Mark my words. I shall atone for this blunder tenfold in the next battle.
But it is far too early for rest.
Yes, you shall.
A report arrived saying that Takeda's main force is on the move. We must prepare for the coming battle. Make your way back to Hamamatsu Castle once you are ready.
Okay. Of course, if we haven't collected everything, we're going to do that before we go back to Hamamatsu Castle, if we can. That looks like a door that should open. We have a new weapon type. We'll likely not use. So we have that one final Kodama. We have that side quest for the guy who wants a picture of Takeda, or a painting of Takeda. That's blacked out, so it doesn't look like we can do anything with that. So we are going to wrap the episode here. And it's probably the longest episode of the series. I won't make episodes this long again, because this was definitely long. Trust me, I've edited it down to like 2 hours and 40 minutes. It's much longer than that. In any case, thanks for joining me. This is Reg with PaxAriaGaming, with uploads every Tuesday and Friday. Saying thanks again, and hit the like button and subscribe. Take care. I'll see you in episode 10.